Sabbath, I guess, we had gone over to the church in Hesperia, which was meeting in a church off Conwood or something, and I said to the pastor, I said, I'd like to talk to you. So about a week later, he came to our house, a fellow named Colin Mercer. Does that ring a bell with anybody at all? Pastor named Colin Mercer. And I said to him, we're new, but, trying to find a church. And I used the phrase that has an urgent end-time message. Trying to find a church that has an urgent end-time message. And bless his heart, he said to me, I really don't think that I'm the kind of pastor you're looking for. And it wasn't too long until he was out of the church. Last I heard many years ago that he had, don't know where he is now, but I had heard he had gone into some motel somewhere in a ballroom trying to start up something. But I've always been fascinated with that, of a pastor being very frank and saying, well, I'm just not, his message, he's just not the kind that might really be looking for an urgent end-time message. So now I will share a couple of these things that I have just come across. I assume, how many have heard of a fellow named Al Sharpton? I think they call him Reverend Al Sharpton. Reverend Al Sharpton, who was invited to speak this weekend at Oakwood College. Brother Bird back there, Oakwood College. Al Sharpton was invited to speak there. Now, my first thought was, what in the world could somebody like Al Sharpton contribute in any way to a church that has been designated by the Lord to have an urgent end-time message? Do you think Al Sharpton really has studied and knows about a sanctuary message? What happened in 1844? Of course, people within our own church. Ford says nothing really did happen in 1844. There wasn't really any movement from a holy place into a most holy place. How about the three angels' message? That is a message that is supposed to be taken to a dying world. And what could a person like Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, contribute to that? I have no idea. By the way, fortunately, enough revolt came up, and at least he was not going to be allowed to speak on Sabbath. Amen. But he's still going to speak on Sunday. Well, whatever. So a couple of items here that again contributed to my kind of revamping. In yesterday's LA Times, here was a headline, you may not be able to see it very clearly, but it says, we're 30 seconds closer to doomsday. We're 30 seconds closer to doomsday. There's a group of atomic scientists that put out a thing called the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. And for many, many, many years, they have had, as part of their bulletin, a doomsday clock. A doomsday clock. And now they have moved that clock forward up towards midnight, meaning the end of the world. They did this, by the way, back in 1953, when there was a lot of atomic testing going on up in Nevada. I mean, Nevada became a great tourist place, people going up there to feel some rumbling or something for all the atomic bomb testing. Now, at that time, and Russia was really doing a good job too of testing. At that time, they moved the clock up until 2 minutes to midnight, almost doomsday. Then after a while they relaxed and moved it back, but now they moved it 30 seconds forward, so we're almost 2 minutes from doomsday. For those of you that have that kind of setup at home, I kind of think it's on the American Heroes channel, cable channel, AHC, American Heroes channel. And on February 12th, they're starting a new series called How the World Ends. Now, I don't know what that series is about. Is it just different people's feelings, or does it come out of different groups or churches? But a brand new series coming on television, cable, called How the World Ends. We as Adventists have some information about that, don't we? Well, okay, so has that kind of urgent end-time message being preached to the world? If it had been totally effective, would we still be here? No. Otherwise, it's ere long this, the Lord could have returned. So, you know, who's responsible? I am, I'm sure. You know, what has it been about us so detracted, distracted, the world getting to us? You know, what has been going on here? By the way, a couple of other things here I found rather interesting. Church down in Huntsville, Alabama. Here's the headline: First Seventh-day Adventist Church starting a Sunday morning service. Now, you know, I'll pause just a moment. Is it okay to read the Bible, study, worship God on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday? But there has only been one day specifically designated to worship the Creator, the Sabbath day. And why this church, who got a fellow named Snell, Pastor Snell, got official conference approval to go ahead and have this type of worship service. This is just not some, you know, Bible study kind of thing. We're going to have a regular worship service on Sunday. Now, you know, make of that what you will. Another article that I have just come across. Has anybody by chance heard of a fellow named Thomas Reese? It doesn't ring a bell with anybody. Well, Thomas Reese had just last year been appointed by Barack Obama to a thing that is called the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. That sounds wonderful. We have an official government entity called the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. And this Thomas Reese has just been appointed as its chairman. Little catch. At the end of Thomas Reese's name is an S.J. What does that stand for? Anybody? If you see a person's name and it says S.J., you know what that means? The Society of Jesuits. The Society of Jesuits. So now, as the head of the United States Commission on International Religious Liberty is a newly appointed Jesuit priest. By the way, in this article, I could get a little bit gory and read. You can look it up on the internet and read you kind of some gory things about what the Jesuit oath is. Has anybody ever even done that? Some have, yes. The Jesuit oath, as I say, is a pretty disgusting, gory indeed thing. It says it is impossible for a Jesuit, a Catholic priest, to faithfully and devotedly serve the interests of Catholicism and at the same time be a champion for religious liberty. Those two don't meet. What we believe and what we read about religious liberty clashes head on with whatever the Jesuit or the come through the Vatican papacy says about religious liberty. We don't even have the same Jesus. We have a Jesus in the Bible. They have an immaculate Jesus. How can we get together with that? Now, there's a little lady that at one time had about 3rd or 4th grade education, which I totally agree and believe and espouse what she wrote. And here's what she said in 1887, Selected Messages, Book 1. We have far more to fear from within than from without. The hindrances to strength and success are far greater from the church than our own church. How often, she says, have the professed advocates of the truth proved the greatest obstacle to their advancement? So whatever truth you profess, are you also the greatest obstacle? Am I? Now, probably one of the most shocking things that I just came into, come across this information, and from within, from within our church, we have a thing, a department, that is now labeled Public Relations and Religious Liberty Department. It's an official part of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. And they have a new chairman that has just been appointed. Now, I won't even try to pronounce his name. His last name is D-I-O-P. Capital D-I-O-P. And he has just written an article in a book, an article in the book. The book is called Call to Unity for the Sake of Mission. Call to Unity for the Sake of Mission. And in this article, one of our pastors, newly appointed to the position, has some rather strange things to say. Here is some quotes from that article. Today, the prospects of new partnerships are promising. Let's all get together. New partnerships. A compelling case can be made that new forms of partnerships are needed on a global scale. Does the Seventh-day Adventist Church need a lot of new partnerships around the world? For instance, here are some of them. The World Council of Churches. What are we doing involved with them? The Global Christian Forum. Why do we need a partnership with them? The Conference of Secretaries of Christian World Communions. All of this, of course, comes under the title of ecumenical. Ecumenical. Let's all get together. And according to the Jesuit, according to our own new head of religious liberty, we need these partnerships. We need to get together. Further, in this article, this Diop, however you say his name, he quoted Pope Benedict. It says, all religions have truths that point us to Christ. Do you believe that? Do you believe that all religions point us to Christ? Well, it kind of depends in a way. Again, what kind of Christ are you talking about? The Lord as we know it in the Bible, or the Catholic, the Immaculate Christ? But here is our own person quoting Pope Benedict in the hopes, in the trying to bring us all together. And he says, perfect unity is an attribute of God. Hello? Perfect unity is an attribute of God? Did Christ have perfect unity when he was here on earth? I thought there were at least a few people that got upset with him, that didn't like what he was saying. Then they eventually put him on a cross. So where is this perfect unity? Perfect unity is an attribute of God. This is our own person. This is our own person saying this. Further, it says, God has united members of God's body with the purpose of revealing Jesus to the world. Now, just take a little part of that sentence. Revealing Jesus to the world. Couldn't quite argue that too far. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? We supposedly have a unique, special message that no other group has. We're Seventh-day Baptists. But we have a special message based on the sanctuary, based on the three angels. And is that message being plainly, consistently given? I say no. And again, 25 years ago, bless his heart, this Colin Mercer said, well, I wouldn't really be the kind of pastor you're looking. At least he was honest. Not in the church anymore, but at least he was honest. To consolidate the gift of this unity, Christians of all streams of Christianity are called to partner with God and with one another. So everybody is supposed to be getting together. Maybe it's just my brain not working too well lately, but what I am reading here, what these things are reading here, we have more to fear from within our church than from without. Say what you will about Thomas Reese being the chairman, SJ, being the chairman of the United States Commission on International Religious Liberty. But at least that's very identifiable. A Jesuit is a Jesuit. A rose is a rose is a rose. A Jesuit is a Jesuit. It says, this miracle of partnership has already a solid foundation among historic and more recent denominations. By the way, if any of you have a desire, I could give you the source, and in fact, if you like, I would even be glad to. This information comes out of a publication called The Eternal Gospel Herald, coming out of Florida, Pastor Rafael Perez. But what is going on in the world? Is the doomsday clock moving closer? How the world is it getting closer? Or are we just simply going to be okay to keep having smooth things preached to us? What? Like I'm up here and I'm a shining example. I mean, hardly. But I have been able to do a little bit with the brain that God gave me. And I can keep up with the times. We used to have a beautiful magazine called Signs of the Times. I mean, when I came into the church, 40 years ago or more, that magazine was pretty straight. And now, I don't know, it has recipes and different things, you know. Well, I don't know if I have stepped on anybody's toes this morning. I'm very glad. And as I say, if any of you would like this particular information, I would be glad to see that you get it. Now, this is religious liberty, and you have been given in your bulletin an item called the Religious Liberty Bond. And it shows you the purpose of what religious liberty is. Historically, the religious liberty is sent out, right now it's about 250, about 250,000 copies to so-called thought leaders. You have that in your bulletin. It's called the Liberty Bond. And on another side, it talks about it. So the religious liberty offering, we can only do what we as an individual believe that we can do. We can only pray that some of these other people will finally wake up and get themselves, get us all ready. The other part, of course, is for litigation purposes. It's for a magazine to send out to so-called thought leaders. By the way, if you yourself would like a copy of Liberty magazine, then fill that out, put your name down. I'll see that the conference gets that. I've received the magazine for many years, and also for some of this litigation. I've been involved, of course, in not as an attorney, but I have been involved in some litigation in the state capitol and so forth. And I don't know, just say nowadays, we seem to have a chairman that wants all these partnerships coming together. And I say, where are our old friends like John Stevens? Well, that name means anything. Roland Hagstead, Claude Morgan. I mean, great old warriors for religious liberty. And I'm afraid that I have just kind of frittered away time. So anyway, I'm just going to pause. Does anybody by chance have any question? Not usually done maybe from the pulpit, but yes.
Yes, I'm saying this in love. When will we stop being so critical of our fellow Christians?
Sorry?
I'm saying this in love. When will we stop being so critical of our fellow Christians? God said, judge not, lest you be judged. All of us have error. Not one of us failed to fall. Not one of us lived a perfectly holy life. We all fall short of the glory of God. Whether we are Seventh-day Adventist, Baptist, Pentecostal, Baptist, Catholic, whatever. If we are children of God, and not all the religions are right, not all the religions have the last word on the word, but if you have a relationship with God, you have tolerance, you have love, you have mercy and patience. And you don't stand and criticize your brothers and sisters in the Lord when you are not the God that knows their heart. I'm saying this in love. I am not being disrespectful. careful. I'm saying this in love because that is the problem. God says they will know you by the love you show one for another. And if you disagree, God gave the Samaritan honor in the Bible, where we as Christians would normally look at that Samaritan and criticize him because he's not right on target. But my point is, we need to operate out of love, and we would not be so critical. Because where we have it right with Daniel, and we have it right in certain scriptures and prophecy, someone else may have it right with relationships with God, where we fall short. So none of us have a right to judge. All we can do is pray for one another. And that's all I'm asking.
Jesus actually said something about love. He said, if you love me,
yes, amen,
keep my commandments.
Amen. Amen.
Now, did he mean once in a while?
No.
Did he mean it's really impossible to keep the commandments? Or did he mean that there are those people, they're talked about in the Bible, that will have no guile in them at all? They're called 144,000. And Jesus was quite clear, if you love me, keep my commandments. And he didn't mean part of the time. He didn't mean, oh, just as best you can. I had a little discussion with my mom one time, many years ago. And, well, you just do the best you can. And I said, well, okay, next time you have a toothache, come on over, and I'll do the best I can to pull your tooth. I don't think that works. We have certain truths that have been given to us. Certainly it should be presented in love. But so far, by the way, Ellen White talks about this goody-goody religion that always dwells upon the love of God, but doesn't give back to some of these basic truths. Look it up. If you have the CD-ROM, you don't even need the CD-ROM anymore. Look up what Ellen White says about this goody-goody religion. By the fruits ye shall know them. That has nothing to do with judging, but we should be smart enough to observe. Well, anyway, yes.
I really feel the Holy Spirit is upon us because before we said that commandment, that's what I was going to say. If you love me, keep my commandments. And by God's grace, those Sunday keeping brethren, our brothers and sisters there, they're going to come and know the Sabbath.
They will know the Sabbath.
And there's only one day to worship God. The fourth commandment, God said, the seventh day.
Oh, well, that's the final text. The whole world will know one way or the other.
I want my church back.
Amen.
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 Amen. But when the God plan out, no matter what denomination they belong to, we love them.
Amen.
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 The denomination
Amen.
is teaching and pulling us down.
That's right.
Well, if I opened up a can of worms or if I stepped on anybody's toes,
Praise God for that.
hooray.
Sister White says there's going to be those who know this truth and have backslidden. It's going to cause those who want to be involved in the closing works to slide. The death angel will come into this church and stack us like cordwood because of the backsliding that is going on in our church today. A lot of us aren't aware that the death angel is being held back right now as I speak to be coming into this church. Our Seventh-day Adventist church is going to be members who we think that are correct, who are righteous, who are going to be who are going to be slaughtered and stacked up like cordwood in our churches. As you pointed out just now, Oakwood is one of our colleges that has been known to carry the gospel for years and years and years in the South. And like you said, they're stepping out, doing what God doesn't want them to do, and we're going to see the results of it in a very few short time. And I think we're living in the very last days of this one.
Well, we'll end this. Just let me say a quick prayer, Lord. In a special way, in a specific way, wake me up. And I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Praise God.